Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Common Sense Crypto channel. As with you always, this is Rich doing another video today on XRP. So I hope you're all having a wonderful day today, wherever you are in this great world. We're gonna talk about XRP. And I gotta start with this from Eleanor Tourette. She says, new from me, House sets Clarity Act markup for Tuesday, while industry pushes back on TradFi favoritism and Democrats spotlight Trump's crypto ties in a special hearing. Are we ever going to get something passed in the United States? Or are they just going to argue back and forth while the rest of the world pushes ahead? You know, we need to get something done. We need innovation to push forward in the United States. We need technology to push forward inside the United States. But as long as these people keep arguing back and forth, nothing is going to push ahead. Uber is once again exploring crypto payments. Now take a listen to their CEO when he talks about Bitcoin. You could tell why the institutions are getting into this space.
I understand that you are considering stablecoin as a vehicle for Uber. Talk about where your considerations are and how that might benefit your business.
Yeah, we're still in the study phase, I'd say, but I think stablecoin is one of the, for me, more interesting instantiations of crypto that has a practical benefit other than crypto as a store of value. You know, obviously, you can have your opinions on Bitcoin, but it's a proven commodity, and, you know, people have different opinions on where it's going. But I do think that stablecoin is quite promising, especially for global companies that are moving money around globally to create a mechanism for us to essentially reduce costs.
And that's how every other institution that gets involved in this space is going to feel. They're going to want to have something that they can actually utilize to cut down costs for themselves, move money very fast, move money very cheap. And even though he said stablecoin, think about it like this. Say they start utilizing the stablecoin early on, but later they say, okay, well, we could make this even better, even faster, even cheaper if we start using a cryptocurrency. Like I said, RLUSD opens the door for XRP. Apple, X, Airbnb, Google join other big tech firms exploring stablecoin adoption. There's so many firms getting involved in this space now. And like I said, stablecoins is the path into this market. Later, they'll start utilizing XRP. But this was documented. This comes from Smoke. Google, Airbnb, and Uber were all part of Ripple's original product vision for a unified global payments interface. As you can see in the document below, that blueprint runs through Ripple's network, with XRP serving as the liquidity layer. The image shows Ripple connecting tech giants like Google, Uber, and Airbnb to traditional payment rails such as ACH, Visa, PayPal, and Ally Pay, all integrated through XRP's liquidity bridge. While these companies are only now beginning to launch their own stablecoins, Ripple has already built the infrastructure for them to seamlessly plug into. And that's where an XRP liquidity pool would come into play as well. This was always the vision for Ripple. The fact that this is now being announced today, it's like everything we knew from years ago that we saw happening at some point in the future, it's happening in real time right now. There's no more waiting for this to happen. And if you can't see all the infrastructure that Ripple has set up, I'm talking globally, that's what XRP will run on. That's what gets you to generational wealth. And when we're talking about stablecoins, this comes from Austin King. Fascinating statistic. days since launch for the primary stablecoins. RLUSD, 171 days. USDC, 2,445 days. USDT, 3,896 days. These are long-term games, and they're just beginning. But this is where you will see the competitive edge for RLUSD. So RLUSD, regulation, NYDFS approved, transparency, audited monthly, primary customer segment, banks, financial institutions. Then you look at USDC, also has the NYDFS approved, attested monthly, not audited, attested. And they're going after DeFi and retail. USDT is offshore, no full audits, emerging markets payments. This is why RLUSD will have no competition in the near future. And this is most likely why Ripple tried to acquire USD as well. They probably figured that they could fix any problems with Circle and they could get out from under that terrible Coinbase deal that Circle has. RLUSD puts US debt on chain. XRP will make it liquid. Take a listen to this.
We have broad agreement, Kaylee, with respect to the content of this stablecoin legislation, My Genius Act. And this is going to, I think, take us into the 21st century in terms of upgrading our payment systems. It's going to have very desirable effects, taking the U.S. economy into the digital assets arena, keeping innovation here, lowering risk here in America, and putting in place guardrails that will protect consumers, because every one of these stablecoins will be backed up dollar for dollar with U.S. Treasuries. Very positive outcome here. We've got very strong support.
We have a major debt problem, and this is what tokenizing US debt means. It means turning government bonds into digital assets that are easier to buy and sell, even in small amounts from anywhere in the world. This opens the door for stablecoins backed by US debt, where issuers earn interest on the bonds while users get fast global payments. That dual incentive drives demand for both stablecoins and the underlying treasuries. It does not erase the $35 trillion debt, but by increasing demand and lowering borrowing costs, it makes the debt easier to sustain over time. But it doesn't erase the problem. You know, everybody thought, well, they're just going to tokenize the debt and the debt's going to go away. No, they're going to tokenize it, so even retail will be investing in these tokenized bonds. And I don't know where this is going. I know what's going to happen, though. As long as we keep rolling this debt and adding more debt, eventually something's got to give. Breaking: United States Treasury. U.S. Treasury just bought back $10 billion of its own debt, the largest Treasury buyback in history. This is why they want to tokenize the debt. They're looking for a whole new class of buyers for the U.S. debt, meaning retail as well. Institutional adoption wave rocks Ripple's XRP after Chinese firm targets $300 million XRP treasury. Now, everybody's been talking about this for days, but I don't look at this as an institutional adoption wave. In fact, let me put it into perspective. This is a drop in the wave that's coming. The wave that's coming is going to be absolutely massive. The fact that they want to lock this XRP away tells you all you need to know. Because if they're going to lock it away and utilize it, we're going to see a lot of XRP locked up over time. We all know what that leads to. Scarcity. While demand is rising, the price will be rising as well. We are already on the path to a very expensive XRP. It's all playing out perfectly. Boom. Bitcoin Maxi, Lark Davis says, after Bitcoin and Ethereum, XRP is the most likely to get SEC approval for an ETF. But take a note what he says here.
Token. There's a race on to see which coin gets its own spot ETFs after Bitcoin and Ethereum, and there are plenty in the running, but XRP is one of the most likely to get it. It's a good bet to get it. And then when it does get an ETF, again, billions of inflows to XRP have an outsized effect compared to Bitcoin. The SEC starting a formal review of Wisdom Tree's filing for a fund called the Wisdom Tree XRP Trust. This is the first time the commission has performed this kind of review on a spot XRP product, and from here the process can take up to 240 days before a decision is actually made to either approve or...
Take notice, he also believes that the XRP ETFs will outperform the Bitcoin ETFs. He knows most other Bitcoin maxis know what's coming. This is why they're pushing Bitcoin as much as they possibly can. This is going to be the last big cash out, as Bitcoin has a fantastic run up. I do believe it still has one last major push up in it, but they all want to cash out big because they see this shift happening as well. Look at the demand for XRP, the institutional demand. On top of that, anybody out there that's in crypto already knows the potential of XRP in a normal run. Now you add in a bunch of catalysts to that normal run, and you have an absolutely fantastic run. And they all want to make sure that they cash in on XRP as well. You're going to see a lot of Bitcoin money shift into XRP once Bitcoin starts reaching the top. Once you start seeing Bitcoin maxis calling the top for Bitcoin, watch how quick that money shifts as well. But we have this to look forward to, and let's hope this goes well. U.S. officials to meet China's officials to discuss a trade deal in London on June 9th. As long as this deal goes well, you could expect the market to continue to be green. If it doesn't do so well, we all know what happens next. President Trump says the Federal Reserve is a disaster and calls for a 100 basis point interest rate cut. What he wants is 1 full point cut on the interest. But Powell seems to be ignoring the president. He just wants to do whatever he wants to do. He doesn't care because he knows that Trump cannot fire him. So will he cut rates this month? Let's hope so, because if he cuts rates, then we continue upward. And the market will most likely start to really break out later this month. That's what everybody's hoping happens. But we have a couple things that could possibly turn this market and prolong this run even longer. And that's that China-US deal and the Fed not cutting rates. Let's hope it happens. And until it does happen, stay patient, stay positive, and let's get rich together. With that said, I'm going to wrap up this video. I want to thank you all for watching. I appreciate all of you. I'll see you in the next one. Have a great night.